How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be continuing one of my favorite what ifs on this channel, which is, what if Goku mastered Spirit Control? Last time we finished off a very different Buu saga, so if you guys missed that, make sure you click the link up above to check it out. Once you guys have seen that video, make sure you come back here to continue this journey with me. Now, let's get right into this video. We begin with Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo all training on the Supreme Kai's planet under all of the Kais. Each of the Kais are very thankful for these guys saving them and reviving them from Buu, so they're all more than happy to help out in training these three. Training with Shin would be more than enough by himself. With every single Supreme Kai training these three, they all learn amazing moves and become much stronger. The Grand Kai teaches them the Kai ability, which lets these three be able to teleport anywhere in the universe that they want. For Goku and Vegeta, they already knew the instant transmission, allowing them to learn the Kai much faster than Piccolo. Piccolo is an excellent learner, which allows him to get the hang of the Kai eventually as well. Goku is curious to learn about the Kai Mutsaru, as it did a great number on Kid Buu, so it would be an excellent move to learn, just in case a villain like Buu ever comes around again. The Grand Kai is willing to teach this move to the Saiyan, except it's not going to be easy, as Goku doesn't have any God Ki within him, and that's what's really needed to access his technique. Goku is saddened, as if he had God Ki, he would be able to fully utilize this technique. Hopefully, if he keeps training with the Kais, then he'll be able to access Godly Ki himself. South Kai is able to teach the group his Godly Shockwave, which is an extremely powerful move that can immobilize many opponents. Piccolo gets his technique down very fast and is able to use his technique the best, which really impresses the Kai. West and North Kais then urge the three to take out the Z-Sword, which Vegeta takes out easily, and begins to practice with the North Kai under it. Vegeta and North Kai have many sword fights where the Kai teaches Vegeta how to use the sword, and Vegeta learns many ways to fight with the sword, and some cool moves with it. These are going to be very useful though, as Shin thought it'd be a good idea to use Kacchin against the sword, as in canon, and the Z-Sword breaks. Old Kais revive from the sword, and all of the other Kais are very shocked to see yet another Supreme Kai brought back into the world. Old Kai thanks Vegeta for freeing him from the Z-Sword, and as thanks, he unlocks his hidden potential, bringing Ultimate Vegeta to life. Ultimate Vegeta has instantly become the strongest out of the three, ascending to a power way beyond Super Saiyan 2, without even really transforming. It's amazing. Goku and Piccolo, of course, don't get this power right away, as I don't think Old Kai would be willing to do this ritual back to back, but would eventually give all these guys their own mystic form. Of course, Goku has the most potential out of all of them, and would be the strongest, but Piccolo isn't far behind either. To know where all of these guys are in power, all three of them would be leagues ahead of canon Ultimate Gohan. As with their own ultimate forms, they become much more powerful, and the training with every Universe 7 Supreme Kai helps a lot, as there are so many Kais that help the group with training. So, I believe they would all be more powerful than Ultimate Gohan. The three under Old Kai would learn about the Potara fusion, and would be interested in this, but still think that if they ever fuse, then they would be fused forever, so they don't use these earrings at all, and say that they won't unless it's a true emergency. These three aren't the only ones training though, as Android 17 has taken two pupils under his wing, Goten and Trunks. These two didn't get to do much in the last part, as Buu was defeated before they even got to do anything. And with their fathers off training with all the Kais, they're going to need somebody to train them up and take care of them. So 17 has made the two boys junior rangers on his island, and the three train together a lot. Unfortunately, Gohan doesn't get much stronger at all. Sure, Gohan is more powerful than his Buu Saga counterpart, but now he really has no reason to train, as now he has a family, and his father is no longer around very much to train with him. He never even managed to get the ultimate form in this scenario, as there was really no reason for him to, which means we get Tracksuit Gohan much earlier than normal. Now we're going to be moving on to the Battle of God Saga, as Beerus has been awoken, and is looking for the Super Saiyan God. Instead of going to King Kai's planet, Beerus arrives on the Supreme Kai's planet instead, as this is where the Saiyan who killed Frieza is. Beerus is surprised to see all the Kais brought back, as he thought they all got killed centuries ago. Though them being alive again is good for him, as they help train all these Saiyans, which is going to give him a pretty good fight. Even though Vegeta is much stronger now, he knows that he's still nowhere near Beerus, and refuses to fight him, which means Goku fights against Beerus as normal. Goku puts up a much better fight against Beerus, as with all of his new moves and his mystic form, Beerus is put on the back foot. With his new Kai techniques, Goku can teleport all around Beerus and deal heavy blows. Plus, separating into perfect clones really keeps Beerus on his toes. Having the God Destruction use a little bit more of his power, so he doesn't get too injured. Vegeta can notice that Goku is winding down, and if Goku loses, then Beerus may destroy this whole realm, and he can't let that happen. So he asks one of the Kais for the Potara earrings, as fusion seems to be the only way to win. Grand Kai gives Vegeta his earrings, with him rushing up to Goku and giving him the earrings as they're going to fuse. Goku gladly accepts, as he's excited to see what a fusion can do, and Ultimate Vegito is born. Beerus is insanely impressed now. Mortals using the Potara? That's something new. Maybe this Saiyan is the Super Saiyan God he's been looking for this whole time. This battle would be a great one, and it's time to dive into where Vegito would stack up against Beerus. Goku and Vegeta are so much more powerful than their canon counterparts at this point in the story, and they were both in their ultimate forms when they fused, which is leagues ahead of where Super Saiyan 3 Goku was in canon, meaning that this Vegito would be way ahead of where he would be normally if he hypothetically appeared in the Battle of God's Arc. Remember, Goku said that if he and Vegeta fused, it still wouldn't be enough for Beerus. And I'm assuming this would be a hypothetical Super Saiyan 3 Vegito Goku is referring to, so we know that Super Saiyan 3 Vegito wouldn't be a match for Beerus. Except with the ultimate form, this puts Vegito in a whole new ballgame. We don't know the multiplier for the ultimate form, but we know it's leagues ahead of Super Saiyan 3, meaning that Ultimate Vegito should be a very, very powerful warrior. But would he be on the level of canon Super Saiyan God Goku? It's hard to say. I would say that he might be either equal or slightly stronger than the God Goku, as the ultimate form is really powerful itself. So with a fusion of two ultimate forms, I'm assuming that Vegito would be on God level or just above it, meaning Beerus gets an even better fight against Vegito than God Goku, especially with these new techniques in Spirit Control and the Kai's moves. Vegito does an amazing job against Beerus, making him actually have to use a lot of his power. A lot more when Vegito starts sending in his clones. Beerus is able to Hakai these clones away, and focus in on the main Vegito, and eventually, he manages to win the fight. Beerus is very impressed with this Saiyan though, saying that Vegito does seem to be the Super Saiyan God he was looking for this whole time, though he hasn't seemed to have gotten the form itself. If Vegito did get the God form, then maybe he could even surpass Beerus himself. Beerus invites Vegito to come train under him in Whis, that way he can access the God form and have another match. Vegito looks over at the Kais, who tell the fusion that this will be for the best, and he should go and learn some more godly powers. Vegito thanks to Kais, and suddenly, unfuses back into Goku and Vegeta. It seems the Potara isn't permanent for mortals after all. But he'll still train Goku and Vegeta separately, but if they get godly power themselves, then he can have them fuse back into Vegito, to give him the rematch that he wants. Goku and Vegeta go off with Beerus and Whis to begin their training. The two, after some time, get to Super Saiyan God form, and this God form is much more powerful, as this form is accessed from the Ultimate form, meaning that they are now both Ultimate Super Saiyan Gods. Beerus likes this new power the Saiyans have achieved, and tells the two that now's the time for the rematch between him and Vegito. Goku goes back to get another pair of Potara earrings, and Ultimate God Vegito is born. Vegito and Beerus have their rematch, with Vegito obviously having the upper hand here. Vegito in his ultimate form was a match for Beerus, so adding an ultimate version of Super Saiyan God puts them on a whole different level. Vegito forces Beerus to use his full power, and with all of his techniques used against Beerus, I'm gonna say that Vegito comes very close to winning against Beerus. All of the clones and Kai moves take Beerus down bad, with the fusion being close to finishing off the God Destruction. But, as it always is, Vegito defuses before he can land the final blow, and Goku and Vegeta collapse out of exhaustion. Beerus tells the Saiyans he is very impressed with their power, and as Vegito, they could totally take him over as the next God of Destruction. Although, they're going to need some power individually, as fusion isn't reliable as a God of Destruction. So, the two are going to need to become powerful by themselves. Goku and Vegeta agree, as they prefer to fight by themselves anyways, and they keep training under Beerus and Whis. Now we move on to the next arc, the Golden Frieza Arc. Everything with Frieza being revived and training for 4 months happens as normal, and he makes his way to Earth to get his revenge. This time, the Z-Fighters have a pretty big crutch, as Piccolo isn't around to help out. Gohan is still around, but even he isn't able to do much against this new Frieza, due to him not training for so long. Gohan can barely even go Super Saiyan anymore. Goten and Trunks can sense that the warriors aren't doing so well on their own, and they manage to convince 17 to come with them to help fight. Goten and Trunks first go Super Saiyan 2, and try to fight it out with Frieza. And while they are able to fight against him in his first form pretty well, they have to be working together to do something, as fighting individually, they stand no chance. Frieza is sick of having to fight with Saiyan children, and instantly goes into his final form, knocking the two boys aside. This is when 17 decides that that's enough, and he goes in and knocks around Frieza himself. 17 is a great match against Frieza, as he's been training for years and is easily above Frieza's level now, with all of his techniques and evasive maneuvers that are more than enough for the Emperor. Remember too, that 17 isn't like the Saiyans, who wait around watching for the enemy to transform. As in the Tournament of Power of Canon, he shot the magical girls mid-transformation. So, here, if Frieza tried to transform into his golden form, I don't think that 17 would let him do it. Which means that 17 straight up kills Frieza, and boom, that's the end of Resurrection F. No need for Goku and Vegeta this time. Gohan apologizes to 17 for not being able to get the job done himself. And 17 tells him he needs to keep training the way that he used to when he was a kid. If he really wants to be a good father, then he needs to be able to protect his newborn kid. So if he ever needs a sparring partner, he can always drop by the island and turn him into 2 kids. Gohan tells the android that he'll totally take him up on that offer, as this whole experience with Frieza isn't one he wants to go through again. And with that, we're going to be leaving this episode right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and while Spirit Control wasn't too much of a key factor in this story, it was still very helpful for Vegito against Beerus. Next time we'll be heading into the Universe 6 tournament, so make sure you guys like and subscribe to be able to see the next part faster. If you want to be able to see the next part early as well, you can consider joining my Patreon page. Huge shout out to Professor X on there for helping support me. If you guys want to be like Professor X and get a lot of special perks for videos, then consider joining the Patreon. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we meet again, you guys. See you later.